And we are back for some more King of the Castle. Well, let's go ahead and continue the game. We'll see how, it's still of the Avatar Dynasty. Queen of Vladena of the Avatar Dynasty. So let's go ahead and, load game. There we go. Alright, so, type exclamation mark join. Sic Semper Tyrannis. No, no. Everyone should be supporting the Tyrannis. You know you want to. Give you guys a few minutes to get everyone back in. Hooray for keeping your funds, indeed. Indeed. Yep, Zero Zarase has kept all of that money in that axe. Very nice. See how you guys are doing there with your funds. Getting some views on some of our people as well. All right, the northern nobles are a little weak. Wealthby, eh? Yeah, so if you choose he, him, you just do he, she, or they. And if it's not he, she, or they, then it assumes they. I don't know why they don't have it do more than that, because it can be confusing like that, but... Too much bloodshed in the Northern Wars? Apparently so. Apparently so. Alright, well, let's go ahead and begin the game. You can still join. If you retype it, exclamation mark join he, it will change it. It might only work that way for people who own the game. I don't know. Let's see. PGW Chaos. Still they, them. Also they, them. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, really. Alright. So, once again, council introduction. Events have proceeded exactly according to plan. The throne is ours. Now just remember our agreement. In all matters of state, you shall favor the East. The East is supreme. What if I govern for the good of the whole kingdom? I'm queen now. You can't push me around. What if I govern for the good of the whole kingdom? Please, put these delusions of benevolence out of your head. It's embarrassing. We put that crown on your head. Don't make us take it away. Now introduce yourself to the rest of the council, but don't forget what I told you today. Let's introduce ourselves to the chiefs of the north. They've changed some of what benefits the owners get as extra benefits since last you played. Yeah, it could be. Chief Farron. Good luck in the days ahead, Your Greatness. You'll need it dealing with us lot. And introduce ourselves to the Patricians of the Coast. Lord Patrician Scooney. A pleasure, Your August Majesty. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. And with that, the introductions are done. So, taking a look at it, we got trade 335, 362 for farming, 821 for military, 035 for faith, and 202 for defiance. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices. Meanwhile, What do you think? Will she be a good little queen and do as she's told? Too early to tell, but I have a bad feeling. We should have a backup plan just in case. Alright. The path to victory. Your Majesty, the history books do not look kindly upon usurpers, unless, of course, they prove themselves worthy of the throne they have stolen. When you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? Alright, well, once again, I want to go for trade. You know, I want that golden age. I want all of my wonderful, wonderful peasants to be prosperous. A lofty goal indeed. I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving the kingdom's overall trade as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty. Let's hope that I don't get the crawler event this time. And now, the coronation. Oh. Alright, the issue that I saw happen with, Kiko seems to be happening for me. There we go. Luckily, I saw how he solved it. There we go. It's a little bug. Meet the new boss. You continued your dynasty. Your Majesty, you may have won the throne from Queen Elmendreda, but you must still answer to the council. As is tradition, they will decide what happens at your coronation. Should I get changed into my waterproof robes, then? It may be for the best, Your Majesty. The game knows. The game knows. Shall we call the nobles in? Alright. So, require that everyone wear black and listen to dreary Eastern music. Force the commoners to swear a blood oath. Throw the queen into the river. The nobles must put on a vast banquet for the queen. Well, I am going for the monarch's vote of the nobles must put on a vast banquet for the queen. Start that vote. What do you want? Are we going to increase authority and decrease stability? Are we going to increase stability and decrease authority? Are we going to increase defiance and decrease stability? Or are we going to increase farming, benefiting the whole realm? And, you know, it costs some nobles a little bit of wealth. Not much. I feel like you guys don't want the peasants to eat or something. Voting has closed. 7 nobles voted for throw the queen into the river. It is decided the queen will be thrown into the river. So our stability is now civil, and our authority is now dubious. Well, shucks. Costs more than some patricians have. That's not my problem. You don't want to spend money on the queen. And so it begins. The nobles pick you up and carry you out to the Treadwater River, hurling you into the shallow water with a cheer. When you climb back up the banks, soaking wet, the Chancellor steps forward and places the crown upon your head. Is it your imagination or some of the nobles' stifling giggles? Yeah, why are they stifling giggles when half of them are laughing outright? Most seem to believe in the river making you a great monarch, Your Majesty. They say something about Alma the Wise. You want them to eat, you just don't want to spend any money towards it. Alright, let's go ahead and end the season. Ricimer of the Nosisdoc dynasty, well-known eastern bird breeder, leans delicately on a podium, speaking in a melodious voice. Most excellent. Vladena now sits on the throne, and the counts are in charge, as they should be. But the other regions will already be scheming to depose her. Do we stay loyal to the new queen, or cut our losses and put me on the throne instead? You just got someone on the throne. Wow. Alright. Counts, get your votes in. Loyalist, aid the queen. B, sorcery. raise authority, or subterfuge, lower stability. Oh! Oh, I like you guys! My friends! My friends amongst the counts! Oh, you're so good! Anna the nerd. Well, raise authority is not the worst thing. But enough of you are wanting to support me. Being a loyalist is fine too, but voting is closed. Alright. Loyalist. Aid the Queen. That settles it then. Long live the Queen. May she bring glory and honor to the East. But we can always change our minds. If Vladena ever gets out of line, we can take up arms and get rid of her the old-fashioned way, even if it's not our usual fare. The Count's goal is to aid the Queen by countering the other region's schemes as much as they can. They will win the game if the Queen produces an heir and completes her ambition. Listen, as a Count, you always gotta lean into the black magic occultism of the East. However, if defiance gets too high, they can still change their minds and rise up in rebellion. Scheme, Patricians. Aspen of the Ice Sovereign 28 family, legendary Navy Admiral, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk, explaining in measured prose. Fellow Patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of Queen Vladena. Something must be done. Alright. Doppelganger, lower own defiance, intimidation, raise stability, or conspiracy, lower treasury. Get your votes in. This is just for the Patricians. And remember, anyone can join even after the game has started by typing !join, followed by your pronoun. He, she, or they. If you own the game, you can also choose your... Alright, lower treasury. Well, that's not good. Guess I know who I'm going to be taxing. Alright, conspiracy, lower treasury. The Patricians plan to sink the Queen under an ocean of debt. To advance their scheme, the Patricians must lower the treasury to 1,500 or less in 3 seasons. Getting your money back from the crown? Eric of the Mad Martinade clan, eccentric northern godspeaker, stands precariously on a longhouse crossbeam, droning as if in a trance. Chiefs of the North, we all know I should be on the throne, not this imposter Queen Vladena. How do we make that happen? Alright. Uprising, raise treasury. Ragnarok, raise own military. Or Hornblower, lower all faith. Let's not fight the ice giants again. A does mean that you would directly counter the Patricians. A would be directly countering the Patricians. So those of you in the Chiefs, go ahead and get your votes in. Alright, looks like you're raising your own military. The Chiefs plan to make an alliance with the Ice Giants to take over the kingdom. First, they must not be weak, or the Giants won't take their proposal seriously. To advance their scheme, the Chiefs must raise their military to 5 or more in 4 seasons. I mean, you guys could have directly countered the Patricians. You had that option. You had that option. Alright, let's go to laws of the land. These are the claimants. Alright, Monarch's golden choice. If nobles vote for the Monarch's choice, they gain plus 500 personal wealth. Royal gamble, plus 600 treasury if the nobles vote for the selected option. If the nobles vote otherwise, minus 200 treasury. Or call for unity, plus 1 stability if more than 50% of the nobles vote for any one option. Oh, I am choosing the Monarch's golden choice. They always vote for Ragnarok. Apparently so. Patricians are a bunch of weak bookworms. They're no competition. Wow. Wow. You gonna let that stand, patricians? The Honor Guard. As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards, the chiefs with their most famous warrior heroes, the counts with their knights of the Order of the Drowned Rose, and the patricians offer their greatest gladiators, champions of the arena. Think carefully, Your Majesty. These guards' loyalties will be divided between you and their region. Of course, you could just hire foreign mercenaries. They'd be loyal to coin above all. Countess Anna the Nerd. The Queen knows better than anyone that our knights will keep her safe from danger and from improper grammar. Ooh. Ooh. You make a good argument there. The gladiators are slightly less great than your last ones because that I got killed. I mean, you had plenty of time to get more. Alright, well, tell me about the Northern Warriors. Bearded oafs with axes and no manners. They'll get drunk and cause trouble in the palace. No discipline at all, and I can't guarantee they won't run off on some random quest, but they're honorable and in a fight unbeatable. Tell me about the Eastern Knights. The Order of the Drowned Rose are highly respectable. They'll understand palace etiquette, but it's been years since they fought an actual battle. Who needs guards when you can talk your way out of situations? I mean, you're selling me. You're selling me. They mostly write poems these days. Tell me about the Coastal Gladiators. A gang of low-born crooks who've turned themselves into celebrities through their skill at chopping other people to bits. They're vain and selfish. Their skill in battle is undeniable, but can you trust them? What foreign mercenaries do you suggest? A band of fearsome fighters from the Tatterlands called the Battle-Bitten Brethren. They specialize in bodyguard work, but they're costly, and hiring foreigners will betray a lack of confidence in our kingdom's fighters. Alright, I have made my decision. I await your verdict with bated breath, Your Majesty. Well, look, you should be baiting hooks, not your breath. This is just gross. Don't put chum in your mouth. Alright, so I could choose the Northern Warriors, which would reduce their defiance. I could choose the Eastern Knights, which would increase everyone else's defiance. I could choose the Foreign Mercenaries, which would decrease my treasury and play into the Patricians' hands. I could choose the Coastal Gladiators again, but as was pointed out, they did take some heavy losses. Or, I don't need an Honor Guard. Do these mercs work on CK2 or 3 rules? That I don't know. You know what? I think we'll choose the Eastern Knights. I think it's very important that I also have Guardians of Good Grammar. Alright, their defiance can't go lower, but the North and the Coast are both grumbling. I will make the arrangements at once. The knights arrive a few weeks later. They are all extremely pale and extremely polite. The commander introduces herself with a florid bow before reading out a poem she's written for the occasion. Bravo, bravo. What a wonderful poem. Count Queen picks their own people's honor guard. Who knew? I know. So weird, huh? A contentious sale or a call for apprentices. We'll go for the contentious sale. Chief Phalanxar. Your Greatness, this is an outrage. Lord Patrician Engine is trying to steal my bear from under my nose. You're wearing wolf skins. Why do you care about a bear? Did you say bear? It's not his bear. I was about to buy this beast from an adventure in the Tatterlands when Chief Phalanxar turned up shouting and raving about Skuranorn. Who's Skuranorn? It could be anyone's bear, yeah. It's fair. Raising the other's defiance is a little spicy, though. That's true. It is. We'll see how that goes for me. The northern goddess of medicine and knowledge. The bear wears her mask upon her brow, clear as day. Tell me more about this bear. She's a magnificent specimen. She'd be a great addition to my menagerie. Well, I suppose this is a matter for the council. Mark my words, if this bear is not brought to the north where she belongs, there will be trouble. Alright, encourage a bidding war between the two nobles. Finders Keepers, Lord Patrician and Jin can have the bear. If it's Sacred, Chief Phalanxara should have the bear. That would decrease some faith. Probably not in the north, but maybe? I don't know. Defiance would go down for the Chiefs, but go up for the Patricians. Same thing would happen for Finders Keepers. I think what we're going to go for is encouraging a bidding war between the two nobles. And you know you guys want a little bit of money. Let's start that vote. So anyone who chooses C gets 500 extra gold. Can't you have the bear? I mean, maybe the game will let you participate in the bidding war. Only Anjin is going for Finders Keepers. Wow. Alright. Looks like we're encouraging a bidding war. Let's see. Yeah, it's getting some good money there. In a furious back and forth, the nobles battle it out for ownership of the bear. Eventually, Chief Phalanxar wins out. The Tatterlands adventurer is delighted and goes away with more money than she knows what to do with. Alright, the north is, their defiance is now aloof, goes down a little bit. Chief Phalanxar's wealth has decreased. Naturally, the Patricians aren't happy to have lost their potential zoo exhibit, but there's little they can do. Well, shucks. Yo, bear attained! Indeed. The bear turns out to be a fearsome creature with bright white fur and intense green eyes, and she's vast. Even on all fours, she stands taller than a wagon. She's transported north slowly and carefully, sedated by special herbs, and followed by a stream of worshipping villagers. Chief Phalanxar is delighted that Skuranorn's will has been done. Faith can't go lower. So this isn't faith in general, it's specifically faith in, like, the established church of the kingdom. I mean, I'm also all for costing them some cash, so... Okay. Call for apprentices. Chief Pinkieva. Bad news, your greatness. A meddling wizard has set up shop in Kolshaven. Either the north will prosper or will be expecting a few raids to offset their losses. No, it's fine. It's fine. I believe it is Brzg, the Lord of the Bells. Tell me more about this wizard, and how exactly to pronounce his name. Wizards have managed to tame creation itself. They wield untold power and are naturally distrusted by the Church. Even the High Inquisitor wouldn't dare move against them openly. Brzg has influence over sound and its counterpart, silence. Though this power seems meager compared to other wizards, they are not to be underestimated. They've put out a call for new apprentices, which is a rare event. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many. Droves of unwashed, glory-seeking common folk from all over the north are lining up for the chance. Not just peasants. I, Farside 3, have also decided to apply. The competition will be fierce, but those citizens are no match. I will be the most powerful noble this council has ever seen. You couldn't put your clothes on if it wasn't for your servant's help. We can't let this go ahead. To have a potential wizard on the council would present a clear and dangerous conflict of interest. A conflict of interest? How? Wizards answer only to themselves. Their power is unmatched, such that entire kingdoms cannot stand against them. Even an apprentice on the council would be disastrous. Lord Patrician Farside 3 could use magic to interfere with votes, or you for that matter. Then we shall assemble the council. God bless you, your highness. Alright, so, we could allow Patrician Farside 3 to become Brzg's apprentice. which would alter Defiance. Require he forfeits his noble title in order to become an apprentice. Or forbid Farsight 3 from traveling to Kolshaven. Alright, well, I cannot choose the Monarch's Golden Choice right now, because I would do that if I could. I think what we're going to do is the Monarch's Vote. And we will require he forfeit his noble title in order to become an apprentice. Let's start the vote. Ah, good. I'm glad to see that my wonderful, wonderful Eastern counts are going for the proper one here. My good, good friends. Alright. Well, that's pretty clear. Voting has closed. 10 nobles and the monarch voted for require he forfeits his noble title in order to become an apprentice. I suppose that is an acceptable compromise. Farsight 3 begins his journey to Kolshaven immediately. Lord Patrician Farsight 3's wealth has decreased, and the treasury is now a 3,500. I'm pleased with that. His successor, Lord Patrician Farsight 3-2, inherits his position on the council, but the treasury confiscates the vast majority of his wealth as payment. And Lord Patrician Farsight 3 has died, and Farsight 3-2 has joined the council. The second. You want to boost that treasury too? That's true. That's true. Brzg's presence in Kolshaven attracts all sorts of visitors, though the power of their latent magic starts to wilt crops for miles around. Farming is now meager, but trade is now modest. So a little bit of offset there. Rip death from apprenticeship, yep. Alright, well, let's go ahead and end the season. Yeah, it was more of a, what is, you know, like, for game purposes. Alright, so the chiefs have a fortress for increased military and a monument for increased authority. The counts have increased farming and a stadium for decreased military. And the patricians have a library for increased stability and an observatory for decreased faith. So, I know what I would like. I would like the increased authority. But I cannot choose. So let's go ahead and start the auction. So remember, if you're supporting me, get that northern monument. Wake me once funding ends. Turns an empty money pouch inside out. So the increased stability is good as well, but the increased military stability. But mostly I want more authority right now. So, you know, support me by getting that monument. Come on, guys. Get that monument. 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 Yes! Yes! Thank you! Thank you, my friends! Get that monument built. Alright, time's up. Ah, so good. Alright, buildings funded. The monument, PGW Chaos, getting there with a top funding. And the stadium in the accounts for Noble Patrician Chemifox going for that one. I wonder why. Alright, end the season. Alright, so finding a spouse, a taxing issue, and a curious curse. Well, let's go find a spouse first. No, yeah, it's a little unbalanced here. 811. Your Majesty, it's important you find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference, men, women, or do you not mind? Any is fine. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messengers to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. It's an easy enough decision. You'll marry into the counts as we agreed before you took the throne, right? Right? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Depends on your offer. Alright, a taxing issue or a curious curse. Let's go for the taxing issue first.
Your Majesty, help us. Lord Patrician Farside 3-2 of the coast has been bleeding us dry, he has.
To be fair, I understand why. Not literally, I hope.
No, I'm making use of a common idiom, Your Majesty. Our taxes are 10 times higher than they've ever been. I can't afford to feed me cows.
It's true, Your Majesty. Lord Patrician Farside III II has been taxing his peasants at least twice as much as the next highest noble. Farside III needs a pocketbook fattening. Yeah. The kingdom did take his money. It's understandable. It's been a hard year, Your August Majesty. I have barely any gold in my vault. I'm just doing what I can to stay afloat. What about this poor peasant's cows? You're clearly having a hard time. I'll let you off. Let's see. Farming would go down, Defiance would go down, and your wealth would go up. You're clearly having a hard time. I'll let you off. Marvelous. I'm relieved you saw sense, Your August Majesty.
But they can be cows, Your Honors. They can be cows.
Over the next few months, Lord Patrician Farside III II becomes rich once again by jacking up his taxes. The other patricians follow his example gleefully. Some patricians' wealth has increased, and Defiance is now aloof. Yay! I got the Defiance down. That's exactly what I wanted. Soon enough, the farms of the coast are destitute. The cattle are starving, and so are the peasants. Only the patricians are fat and wealthy. Farming is now starving. Peasants. It's not a big deal. Just peasants. The cows, though. We should take care of the cows. A curious curse. A giant glass globe filled to the brim with murky water is wheeled before the council. The fishbowl contains noble patrician chemifox, suspended in liquid. They poke their head above the surface.
Your esteemed highness, a most infuriating circumstances befalling me.
Can I get you some fish food?
This is no laughing matter.
I mean, it kind of is, though. I understand it's serious, but it kind of is a laughing matter.
I've been cursed by a sea wizard. He inflicted me with these gills, so I can't leave the water for more than a couple minutes.
What did you do to anger this wizard?
I happen to own a tannery that is polluting some picturesque beach he likes. How was I supposed to really know? I demand you arrest this maniac and force him to remove these gills.
Alright, so we can send a squad of coastal soldiers to arrest the wizard responsible, which will decrease the patricians' military even further. Send a diplomat to politely ask the wizard to reverse the curse. Close down noble patrician Chemifox's tannery, which would decrease his wealth, decrease trade, and increase defiance. Send the wizard a hamper of fine cheeses and a bottle of wine. Alright, well, you know, I'm not a fan of most of those. We're going to send a diplomat to politely ask the wizard to reverse the curse, I hope. That is the monarch's vote. Start that vote. Alright. Get your votes in. We do not want Defiance. Defiance is bad. Lord Smappy and Prekovic? But I've expressed my preference. So mean. Oh. It's tied, so oh no. No. Don't send the wizard a hamper of fine cheeses and a bottle of wine. That's rude. Guess that's what we're doing. Well, I guess we've sent the wizard a hamper of fine cheeses and a bottle of wine. Note this is coming from the council, not the queen. You remain fish.
How dare you?
It wasn't my fault. From then on, noble patrician Chemifox remains confined to their aquarium. The sight of the great glass globe and its glub-glubbing occupant in the council hall quickly becomes unremarkable. They're jealous of your cool leather. Alright, let's end the season. Alright, trade bonus. The patricians' fisheries get 500 wealth this quarter. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. Alright, well, patricians, I'm gonna have to give you a bribe, I think. And I'll leave the others as is. I could afford to get a little bit of extra wealth from the counts. But I think I'll be generous to the counts. Let's go ahead and confirm that tax. Man, remember Farsight when you had so little money? Defiance is now grumbling. 3. Down to 3. You put in a good word with the other fishes? Alright, a hungry bear, occupational hazard, and eligible options. Let's go ahead and see what our eligible options are first. I have found 3 potential matches for you, 1 eligible young candidate from each of the kingdom's 3 regions. Choose wisely. You'll be securing a powerful alliance. Yes, I know. The Chancellor leads you to the Great Hall, where they've arranged 3 portraits on easels. For now, each is covered by a cloth. Alright, let's see the eligible candidates. Yeah, the North is getting a lot of events for me right now. They whisk away the cloth from the first portrait. This is Harold, firstborn son of the Northern Negative Delta Zero clan. From what I've heard, he knows exactly what he wants and will do whatever's necessary to get it. Always got his nose in a book from what I've heard. Wow, for a Northerner. He's an incredibly driven person by all accounts. Gets up at the crack of dawn each morning and goes for a swim in a frozen lake. I can see the appeal, I suppose. This is Matilda, the eldest daughter of the Eastern Voronel dynasty. I met her at a party once, but all she did was squeak out a hello and run off. Seemed nice enough. The party of fiscal responsibility? The responsible thing to do with all the money is to give it to us. No, put it in my treasury. Since when do you have a son? Apparently since now. Spends most of her time with a fencing master, mastering the blade. Half of the East are in love with her, apparently. The other half hate her. She's an intriguing candidate. And finally, from the coast, we have Clementine, the wealthy heiress to noble patrician Isovan 28's estate. I mean, just look at her. She's gorgeous, even though she's wearing a mask. And apparently she's got a silver tongue, too. She recently gave away half her fortune to the church, much to everyone's surprise. Going by her business history, though, it's not like she would have done anything useful with the money. Could be worse, could be a lot better. What do you think? Of course, by picking a candidate, you'll anger the other regions, but you'll gain a lifelong alliance. Alright, I made my decision, so we could... We're definitely going to afford to increase the counts right now, because we can. I think we'll marry a Clementine of the Coast. Excellent, I'll make the arrangements. So the Defiance in the Coast is now cordial, Defiance in the North is now grumbling, and Defiance in the East is now cordial. Let's keep that Defiance down. Alright, let's head to Occupational Hazard. received a message from the wizard Brzz, Your Majesty. I heard it in my mind during breakfast. It was quite disturbing. The grumbly Northman seems bad for you? It does, which is why I'm hoping that one of these gives me an opportunity to decrease that. We'll see how that goes, though. The Counts will remember this. Look, Counts, you gotta understand. I have to keep the others from rebelling, you know? I know you will not rebel against me because you are loyal. And I am loyal to you. So, you know, sometimes we just have to make bad choices for the good of everyone. And by everyone, I mean the Counts. So just trust me, I have our best interests in heart. Their new apprentice, Farsight 3, has died. This is quite normal, Your Majesty. The survival rate of wizard apprentices is less than 1 in 10. Oh, sorry, Farsight. Regardless, Brzz has sent us compensation. How charitable. And what of the damage they've already wrought in Kolshaven? Did we receive any compensation for that? Alas, no. Only this 150 gold. Perhaps the council will have an idea of what to do with it. Alright. 3150 to the treasury. Alright, so we can give it to his successor. We can pay the chiefs for the magical damage, which has only a 40% chance of success. We can build a statue celebrating Farsight 3's bravery. Or we can keep it for the treasury. Well, I really do not want to build a statue celebrating Farsight's bravery, honestly. You know, no offense, Farsight. It was worth a shot, at least. Kolshaven deserves to be compensated. I kind of feel the same way, but it only has a 40% chance of success. But I will mark that one as my preferred one. See how that goes. All right, get your votes in. We'll see if it has the desired outcome. I mean, after all, Chiefs, you know, if nothing else, it is the thought that counts. I'm trying to help you out as best as I can. And it looks like you're agreeing with me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Alright, voting has closed. Pay the chiefs for the magical damage in Kolshaven. The money, feeble as it is, goes towards the farmers who were affected by Brzg's stay in Kolshaven. But what can gold do, really? A few cows are bought, but the old ones are still roaming around the fields, leaving flaming manure and producing acid milk. They got changed into Bonacons? The challenge failed. No matter what the farmers try, the land is rotten with magic. It's just what happens when a wizard visits. The chiefs are nothing but insulted by your help. Chiefs! Come on! I tried! Alright, well, we have a hungry bear. Let's see if we can do something to decrease their defiance here.
Our wondrous bear is thriving in the north, your greatness, even though it's all the way down in the south. Don't question it. Just as Skuranorn would wish. The God Speakers have gained visions of new herbs and medicines ever since she arrived. Thank Morgana.
Well, the North's trade is now dynamic. Can you share this knowledge with the rest of the kingdom? Excellent news. Time for the real questions. Is she adorable and fluffy? I mean, that is very important. Is she adorable and fluffy?
She's an avatar of one of our most powerful deities, your highness.
Yeah, but the question still stands. Is she cute and fluffy?
But yes, she is very fluffy. The only thing is that she's eating a lot. Our hunters have to push into the frozen wastes to find enough food to go around.
Having second thoughts, are you? Perhaps a bear would do better in a nice, cozy menagerie. I mean, it's not like the Patricians have very good farming. Alright, demand that the other nobles donate their crops. Farming will go up and down. Defiance will go up and down. Stability will go down. That's not good. Import fine meats for the beast. Farming will go up. Defiance will go down. Leave the chiefs to feed their own bear. It's a 5% chance there. Transfer ownership of the bear to Lord Patrician Anjin at 24.99. Stability will go down. Defiance will go up and down. Monarch's golden choice here. I'm going to sacrifice some cash for the good of the nation. Let's import fine meats for the beast. Anjin, no our farming. So voting for B will get you your own money. Wow, the Patricians are doing really well on cash too right now. And now there are more chiefs than anything else by a pretty good margin. All right. Voting has closed. 16 nobles voted for. Import fine meats for the beast. They don't fund anything? It's rude. Oh no. Oh no, that was just enough. Oh shoot. Fine fish from Saul, venison from the Tatterlands, even some Ashmedian beef. It all arrives in the north to help the chiefs support their sacred bear. She eats remarkably well and grows sleeker and happier by the day. You don't need the bear now, you have a new friend called Money. As do the chiefs, who can take the choicest cuts of meat and ripest vegetables for themselves. Defiance is now aloof, down to 2. That's excellent. Farming is now needful, at 3. Ah, needful things. Alright, let's end the season. In a dingy seaside tavern, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. The treasury is practically empty, and the queen is struggling to fund her ambitions. We're perfectly placed to offer her a loan. So helpful of us. Indeed, these loan agreements will be as friendly as a bear trap, absolutely loaded with hidden catches in the small print. Now, watch me work my magic. Blub, blub. Good evening, noble patrician. What exactly is the purpose of this meeting? I heard about the Queen's recent money troubles, and I thought we could both benefit. Just sign here and here. Practically empty, only just past the threshold. Yeah. This agreement does seem fair. Very well, I'll sign. Treasurer, don't make me fire you. The Queen will be pleased. Good night, noble patrician, and may the ninth bless you. Alright, treasury is now 3450. Noble Patrician Chemifox's wealth has decreased to 2750, and Lord Patrician 1-4's wealth has decreased to 2950. Did that affect them all? I think it might have. I'm not sure. Maybe not. See, easy as pie. It's not easy. It's not enough to bankroll the Queen. The rest of the kingdom needs to be in debt to us as well. Glub glub. To advance their scheme, the patricians must have the highest trade of all 3 regions in 3 seasons. Well, right now, the chiefs do have the same trade as patricians. The patrician's poorest noble is richer than the richest chief or count. Yeah, it's a thing. Alright, well, okay, apparently, the fact that it's the same counts as being the highest. Which is weird. So I could do reverse voting. Nobles must vote for their least favorite option. Stop the count. I'm not going to do that. Royal gamble. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm pretty happy with what I have. Reverse voting. It's overpowered. Yeah, they must vote for their least favorite option, and the option with the least votes will pass. It also feels a little, you know what? You're right. Let's try it out. We haven't tried it out, so let's do it. There we go. Reverse voting. Alright, food riots. a clairvoyant visit, and the royal wedding. Well, we have to do the royal wedding first. Your wedding to Clementine is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. Woo! Party! It feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Clementine at your side.
Do you take this woman as your lawfully wedded wife?
I've changed my mind. I can't do this. I do.
Then I pronounce you queen and wife.
Holy matrimony. You got married. We didn't even get this far in the last one. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast, and after the feast, a dance. Your new wife, Clementine, laps up the attention, delivering a witty speech in which she flatters you outrageously. Stability is now steady, authority is now commanding, defiance is now cordial, and defiance is now loyal, and defiance is now loyal for the coast in the east. Excellent. I approve. By the time you find yourself alone with Clementine, it's past midnight, and you've never felt more tired. You danced so very beautifully. It was such a wonderful day, wasn't it? Admit that your heart wasn't in it, or agree with her. I'll agree with her. You endure a long conversation in which Clementine seems determined to flatter you relentlessly and agree with everything you say. Seems fine with me. I'm okay with this. By night's end, you still don't know who Clementine really is. Her real personality is concealed beneath 100 layers of etiquette. You go to your separate bedchambers, still strangers. I mean, but at least we're married, right? Alright. A clairvoyant visit. Chief Wasanka. Your Highness, Your Majesty, Chief Mad Steve 79 has been having prophetic dreams. It is true. I can part the veil betwixt now and some ways off. Well, give me a prophecy then. I look to the future, and it speaks through me, no more, no less. For instance, Chief Zero Zerase should beware of birds for the next season. Now, remember that Zero Zerase. And I saw a vision of Chief Farron's body floating away on dark water. Alright, Farron, looks like you're going to become a pirate of dark water.
What gods be good?
Please, Your Greatness, have him foretell the future for the Council. We could gain insight into great mysteries. Alright, justice once, begin the visions. Throw this charlatan into the dungeon. Make Chief Mad Steve 79 an official court advisor. So we'd have some defiance go up and some go down. Trade would go up. Farming would go up. And authority would go down. You know what? Let's try out the reverse voting. Alright, reverse voting, so nobles must vote for their least favorite option. Let's go. So we have a 50% chance for either A or B, if those are chosen. And the one that is that has the fewest votes will succeed. So it looks like we're going just this once, begin the visions. Alright, looks like that's what's going to be chosen. Voting has closed. Alright, just this once, begin the visions. Chief Mad Steve 79 spreads a dark velvet cloth onto the floor, sits cross-legged, and closes his eyes. After a moment's silence, he gasps. The gods are good, Your Greatness. Something wonderful beyond the veil. Let me gather myself so I may understand what lies ahead. Hey, it succeeded! Very nice. I see respect for the throne spreading across the land, but beware, deference becomes fear. Treat good fortune with wisdom, Your Majesty, for luck turns like a blizzard in the mountains. Beaming Chief Wasanka whisks him out. You think you spot a couple of coins changing hands, but you can't be sure. Chief Wasenka's wealth has decreased, and Chief Mad Steve's wealth has increased. Sure enough, the Chancellor soon reports a new tax treaty with Ashmead that puts the kingdom at a great advantage. Mad Steve 79 must have known what he was talking about. Authority is now imperious. Very nice. Alright, but we got food riots down here in the coast. Your August Majesty, the famine in the coast grows worse by the day. That seems like a you problem. Riots are breaking out in all the major townships from Thalassus to Calport. Starving mobs are pillaging bakeries, granaries, and merchant houses. What are we to do? Oh no, stability has gone down. Alright, so we can send in the military to control the riots, which only has a 40% chance of succeeding. It's weird considering they have a 1. Import mass amounts of food from Tavalin and Kirth. Farming would go up, Defiance would go down, and Treasury would go down. Patricians should buy up surplus grain from the Counts, so trade would go up and down. Wealth would go up and down. Farming would go up. Order grain supplies to be diverted from the east. So trade would go down. Farming would go up and down. Defiance would go up and down. I think that I'm going to Monarch's golden choice. Patricians, you should buy up surplus grain from the Counts. Let's go with that. So get your votes in. If you want money, you know which one to go for. Get that extra money, indeed. And indeed, people are going for the extra monies. Alright, let's go ahead and continue that. Voting has closed. 18 nobles voted for. The patricians should buy up surplus grain from the Counts. Backed into a corner, the patricians are forced to pay steeply for the grain surplus from the east. Holding all the cards, the Counts price gouge outrageously and enjoy a tidy profit. Alright, trade is now struggling in the coast. Might as well get the personal wealth glub. No, your wealth. Trade is now dynamic in the east. Some patricians' wealth has decreased, and some counts' wealth has increased. So taking a look at that. Well, the good news is that now Lord Smappy and Anna the Nerd are have surpassed the patricians' most wealthy member. You more than doubled your wealth? Nice. Very nice. Okay. Don't be upset, it's just good business. Immense quantities of surplus grain are diverted from the east to the coast, and once the peasants have bread again, the riots cease. There's enough to tide them over until the next harvest. And farming is now needful. So yeah, the Chiefs are still at 8 here. They need to stay at 5 or higher. So looks like that's gonna advance. Go ahead and end the season. Plots and counterplots. Deep in the back rooms of the royal palace, the eastern counts are poring over secret letters and scribbled diagrams. On the wall is a corkboard filled with pins and crisscrossed by colored string. The queen didn't marry Matilda, but at least she married someone. Now she just needs to get on with finding an heir. Indeed, the clock is ticking. The treasury is running so low that the treasurer met with the patricians to organize a loan. That short-sighted fool. A loan that will be stuffed with catches in small print. Then we've got to keep up our efforts. Queen Vladena Vladena isn't going anywhere on our watch. The Counts must continue to aid the Queen by countering the other region's schemes. They will win the game if the Queen produces an heir and completes her ambition. Alright, brokering an alliance. Far to the north, where the snow blankets the landscape and wolves howl in the night, the chiefs plot to bring about the end of the world. Ragnarok. Praise Morgana. Initial talks with the ice giants are going so well that they've gifted us a new patch of fertile land in the northern valleys. Ooh, farming is now sufficient. Chief Baneri.
The gods are good. With luck, this'll be the foundation of an alliance strong enough to rock the world.
Maybe they'll feed the bear. Aye, the ice giants are a formidable ally. Tall as a building and limbs like tree trunks. And those southerners don't know how to fight them like we do. The southerners don't know how to fight anyone, really. But first, we must offer something the giants desire.
A whole kingdom's worth of pillage?
Just what I was thinking. If we fill the kingdom with bountiful goods and plunder, the giants won't be able to resist. For the next stage of the chief's scheme, they must raise other regions' trade to a combined total of 12 or more in 2 seasons. Oh no. Alright. So we currently have no heir. Counts, what I suggest is trying to max out the chief's trade. Oh, so it's at 8 already? No, they want a total of 12 at least. So, so you need like 6 in each of those. Alright, so both of their ones are at the 2nd rank. Alright. So, Avatar of Skuranorn, Noble Kidnapped, and an Invitation. Well, let's go to the Invitation first. Without word, Count Faramir hands you a blood-red envelope. It is sealed with a white wax in the shape of a skull. Inside is a beautifully written invitation to an event called the Crimson Vigil, due to take place on an autumn night later in the year. What is this all about? I can say no more. You must choose whether to accept our invitation or to decline it. Well, I suppose I shall attend this event, whatever it is. I will see you at the next vigil, Your Majesty. Look at that dapper chap. Indeed, indeed. Fancy schmancy hats. And a noble kidnapped. Let's see what's going on here. Your Grace, I know I just delivered a letter, but I have something else to talk to you about. The loyal and noble Conte PGW Chaos has been taken hostage. Oh no. Howdy, Seelan, how's it going? What would kidnappers want with them? It's some criminal organization. These horrid miscreants demand gold and safe passage to Ashmead in exchange for PGW Chaos's return. So we can pay the ransom, which will really cut into my treasury, and I don't want that. We can afford... We don't need the Defiance to go down. Send the East's troops after the kidnappers, or ignore the letter. I'm going to veto pay the ransom. So, start the vote. Alright, guys. B or C. Do we ignore the letter, or do we send the East's troops after the kidnappers? It's a 40% chance. And welcome on in, Seelan. You have joined the Counts. I'm surprised it didn't add you to the Patricians. Well, everyone's going for sending the East's troops. So let's go ahead and choose that. And Preskitch, thank you very much for that subscription. Is off with his head an option? I mean, it might be. Voting has closed. Send the East's troops after the kidnappers. I mean, maybe they'll get experience, you know? Maybe that'll help. The assault is a catastrophe. The outlaws were more entrenched than anyone realized, causing a hard-fought battle. Alright, the military challenge failed, and the military of the East is now 0. Though the Eastern forces are victorious, they're decimated. What's worse, PGW Chaos is lost in the chaos. When they're eventually found, they're face down in a pool of blood. The Counts are quick to put the blame squarely on your shoulders. What? It wasn't my fault. Alright, so PGW Chaos has died, and PGW Chaos II has joined the council, and Defiance is now aloof in the East. It was off with somebody's head, yeah. He fell asleep during a King of the Castle game and ended up here? Yes, Kiko raided me. It's all my fault that their soldiers sucked. I mean, you could try to increase the strength of your military. Avatar of Skuranorn. The Bears. Chief Phalanxar and his friends have locked themselves in their lodges and are refusing to come out. They say they're learning the ways of Skuranorn. Meanwhile, our trade routes are drying up because of their negligence. By the 9th, I swear it's that damned bear's fault. The bear saga goes on. Indeed it does. A dangerous thing indeed, your majesty. I know we tolerate these heathen practices in the north, but this is too much. What does learning the ways of Skuranorn mean? Eating poisonous moss and making horrible concoctions so they can have visions of their pagan god. Apparently Skuranorn is a deity of wisdom and medicine. Pah! I don't see a problem here. I mean, you know, what's a little psychedelics in the morning, right? Do I want to get revenge on the bear for spending my money? Not really. I like the bear. He's fluffy. Or she. What do we do, your serene highness? Our traders will lose their livelihoods if they can't sell salt to the northerners. It seems like your problem, honestly. Ask the chiefs to share their knowledge once they emerge. That has a 90% chance. Set up trade between the patricians and the counts instead. That would increase trade, which... It would increase the counts' trade, probably, but... That's the counts and the patricians. I don't like that. Faith would go down. Farming would go up. I mean, I do want trade to go up, but not right now. Send in church missionaries to debunk these heathen myths. Not a fan of that. Have the bear quietly assassinated. I don't like that. I think we're going to select to the monarch's golden choice to ask the chiefs to share their knowledge once they emerge. So let's start the vote. Come on. Let's get some of that that wonderful psychedelic knowledge from the chiefs. We do not want trade between the counts and the patricians. Come on, guys. You know you want some extra cash. Come on. Come on, get those votes in for B. There's some more there should be some more counts out there, right? Right? Oh no. Oh no. I don't like this. Don't need the cash? Yes, you do. Dang it. Voting is closed. Set up trade between the patricians and the counts instead. Grumbling, the patricians turn their attention to business with the counts. Fortunately, the assault trade brings piles of gold to all parties. Some patricians' wealth has increased, some counts' wealth has increased. Trade is now modest, and trade is now prosperous amongst the counts. Alright, so the good news is that it is not enough for Ragnarok to continue. And it is also not enough for the patrician scheme to trigger. But when the chiefs eventually emerge from their lodges, they're not pleased that the patricians have abandoned their trade deals, but their faith in Skuranorn's wisdom is stronger than ever. Defiance is now aloof, and faith can't go lower. Well, just remember, chiefs, I tried to just get you to share your knowledge. But no. Unfortunately, Chief Phalanxar perished during the ceremonies, having eaten far too many vision mushrooms. But the other chiefs say it's how he would have wanted to go. Howdy, Tiberiosity, how's it going? So, Chief Phalanxar has died, and Phalanxar II has joined the council. Farming is now fruitful in that region. Man, I should have chosen farming. Good lord. Meanwhile, the bear remains happy and pampered in the northern lands. Well, the southern northern lands. Like, let's not forget, the southern northern lands. Alright, let's end the season. Okay, so, the chiefs have a monument to increase authority, and a prison to decrease stability. The counts have a cathedral to increase faith, and a thieves' guild that decreases trade. The patricians have a fortress that increases military, and a grand bazaar that increases trade. Boy, these are some crummy options. I guess I would say a thieves' guild and a fortress are my choices. D and E, if you're going for supporting me, D and E is what I would like. Bam, F, right off the bat. Well, I got one of them at least. Holy cow, just everyone going for F. Good lord. I mean, authority is good too, I guess. A and D is actually a pretty good breakdown too. Well, the patricians are... There's 2 patricians in the top richest nobles, and not many others. Wow. But that's actually the... Yeah, see, that's getting the patricians what they need. Buildings funded, a grand bazaar, and a thieves' guild. So Lord Smappy going for 3,000 on the Thieves Guild, and Ice Sovereign going for 3,550 on the Grand Bazaar. Wow. Yeah, it's tied, which means that they are the highest. So the Crimson Vigil, about your heir, and the fine print. Well, let's go see about our heir first. Your marriage to Clementine is not what you'd hoped. She seldom sleeps in your bed, and over breakfast you exchange only a few frosty words before she departs to the chapel. The last thing on your mind is procuring an heir, but the needs of the kingdom must prevail. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair. But something's still missing. You need an heir. You need someone young, whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard, or the youngest of your many cousins. My wife and I will have a child together. I'm pretty sure I have a bastard child lying around somewhere. Vladena, how many kids have you had? I plan to adopt a lowborn child from the orphanage. I'll take my youngest cousin. I'll make my youngest cousin my heir. Counts wanted Abe big time to boost the kingdom. That's true, yeah. Orphanage. I feel like that would decrease stability, though. So I think I'll go for the youngest cousin. Of course, an entirely sensible idea. I will make the arrangements at once. Yeah, nobles hate orphans, unfortunately. And my wife does not seem to be the having a child sort. Considering that we're both women, that kind of seems to be an issue, but who knows what's going on in this world. Let's see, the fine print. Your Majesty, do you recall the loan agreement I signed with the patricians? No, did you even tell me about this? Vaguely, sounds boring, no wonder I've forgotten. No, did you even tell me about this? Your Majesty, I sent you the contract. You stamped it with the royal seal. I stamp 50 things a day. I can't read them as well. Ah, now I recall. You should have asked me face to face. Ah, now I recall. It turns out there were some hidden catches. See, the interest they're charging looked very reasonable at first, but it's doubling every 2 weeks. Before long, things will get exponential. How didn't you spot that? That can't be legal. We're in trouble, aren't we? How didn't you spot that? It was written in obnoxiously small print. Each letter was the size of an ant's breakfast. Luckily, the Patricians aren't pressing us for repayment yet, but there are signs that they're tricking the other regions into similar agreements. Fortunately, the Patricians have run into economic trouble. Nevertheless, we'd be well advised to call a council vote to address this threat. Alright, hit the coast with a punishing trade embargo. Decrease trade, increase defiance, decrease stability, which I'd rather not decrease stability, but pay off the other region's debts from the treasury, delay scheme for 1 season. Can't do anything about debt. What are we, economists? Well, I do want to decrease their trade, so... Monarch's golden choice for hit the coast with a punishing trade embargo. B is really my best option? Is it? Is it? They don't have any defiance right now. Losing stability does suck. Yeah, A is important to stop the Patricians. Stopping the scheme for 1 season isn't that great, and I don't want to spend money on that. So, let's start the vote. And this also has the benefit of making it harder for the chiefs to do their thing. So I definitely want to hit the coast with a punishing trade embargo. There we go. Voting has closed. 9 nobles voted for. Hit the coast with a punishing trade embargo. You call an embargo on goods from the coast, angering the Patricians and crippling their economy. But it's bad news for the rest of the kingdom, too. A lot of people rely on those goods. Alright, the coast trade is now modest. Stability is now teetering. It's down to 4. Defiance is now cordial.
This is an outrage, Glub Glub. We've done nothing outside the bounds of the law. Besides, you need us. You can't keep this up forever.
They're right. After a few weeks inundated with complaints from merchants, you're forced to lift the embargo, but the coastal economy has taken a body blow. A was going to win anyway, so getting personal wealth made sense. Yeah, that's the thing. If you think it's going to win anyway, then you might as well make some money on it. Alright, the Crimson Vigil. Let's see if this results in my murder. The Crimson Vigil takes place in a bleak castle atop an eastern hill. Your journey takes weeks, and your baggage train keeps getting stuck in bogs. You guys have great farming. Why are there so many bogs? Guests at the Crimson Vigil compete on who can dress in the most ghoulish and frightening costume. What did you dress as? Just your normal clothing. Well, that certainly would be ghoulish and frightening. A dragon with gem-studded wings and a golden tail. Yeah, it's nice. A ghost in tattered clothing draped with clanking chains. It's very pedestrian. That's true. That's true. This seems vampire-y. Yeah, I mean, you know, they're kind of vamping. A demon with horns, cloven hooves, and red skin. Ald may be a dragon, but is Elmandretta? Nope. We'll go with the demon with horns, cloven hooves, and red skin. The red dye makes your skin itch, and your hoof-like shoes are difficult to move around in, but you strike a startling figure. Yes. Howdy, Overlord Zorp. How's it going? So pitch? No, most definitely not pitch. No. As you're assessing your appearance, Count Faramir sweeps in, dressed as a living corpse. Faramir, aren't you going to get into a costume? Welcome, welcome. I see you are dressed as one of the servants of the seventh god. How delightfully blasphemous. Of course, an Easterner yourself, you already know that the dungeons are out of bounds. You already am a living corpse. In the ballroom, you found the counts gathered, all dressed up as frightful monsters. Wolfmen, pumpkin heads, witches. A waiter glides past, holding a tray of canapes. A pianist plays a mournful tune. The Crimson Vigil begins at midnight. What role will you take, a mourner, or are you willing to portray a hound of the betrayer? I'll play a mourner, or I will play one of the hounds of the betrayer. Sure, let's go for being a hound of the betrayer. The counts gather. After Count Faramir delivers a short speech about remembering the old ways, a flaming crown is placed upon his head. That seems bad, Faramir. I will be playing the Queen in Exile this evening. The hounds of the betrayer will try to catch me, but fear not, I am swift as a falling star, and old as the hills. Chase after the Queen in Exile.
Come back with my shoe.
Faramir runs down the corridor, flames licking behind him, and you give chase. A dozen other hounds of the betrayer run alongside you, howling and yipping enthusiastically. Maybe I should have worn more sensible shoes. Somehow, despite the silly costume and massive flaming hat, Faramir is quick on his feet. Catching him won't be easy. Head back to the mourners without catching your prey. Chase after him. Could decrease defiance. Got a 50% chance. Do I take the coin flip? I think I take the coin flip. Let's see what happens. The stupid hooves slow you down, allowing Faramir to slip away. He is somewhere in the castle, but you'll never find him now. Ah, it failed. The Queen in Exile's escape, of course, is, of course, a good omen. The Queen in Exile symbolizes both the seventh god and the East itself, two ancient powers conquered by the ninth and Harald the Great, respectively. Defiance is now cordial. If the Queen in Exile escapes, it portends a good year for the Counts. The sacrifice in the dungeons will be rewarded with prosperity. Maybe they should have told me that first. After that, the music is more cheerful. The Counts dance and chat long into the night. At dawn, you board your carriage and begin the long journey back to the capital. Alright, let's go ahead and end the season. I should, yes. As a Count, I should know. Sitting on a bench outside a sun-bleached villa, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme.
Our profits are down, Glum Glum. Our companies are being outcompeted by the damn counts of all people. How could this happen, Glum Glum?
The patrician's aim is to have the highest trade. March of the Giants. Back in the north, Chief Ziwa Zerase is hosting yet another feast at her clan hall. Not everyone is in the mood for celebrating, however. No developments, I'm afraid. The Giants aren't willing to commit. Not yet, anyway.
What's the problem? They leave their brains in the ice caves again, or are they too scared to take on a measly queen?
Hey, now! Nay, not enough plunder. We must make the other regions bigger, juicier targets. The chief's aim is to raise the other regions' combined trade to 12 or more. Alright. Trade bonus. The counts impose harsh taxes on their serfs, netting 500 wealth. The other nobles gained 200 wealth. Alright. Let's see. I don't really want to increase anyone's defiance right now. I also don't need to do that much more. On the other hand, the counts do have a lot of money. Tax the heck out of the patricians. It is tempting. It is tempting. It is very, very tempting. Give me 3,800. That'd be 4,100. That's true, I do. But I like money. I am a dragon, after all. I'm a dragon. But also keeping their, keeping Defiance down is pretty good as well. We'll confirm the tax. That's fine. We'll leave it at common tax. Alright, the Gossamer Shield, arms shortage, and new laborers. Well, let's see what we've got about this Gossamer Shield. That sounds interesting. Count Sealan Mortar. Your Highness, heed my plea. The great tragedy of our time has befallen the East. Well, it's not my fault. A demon's hatched from the ground. Someone died. You ran out of capes. Look, as a member of the East, I understand the great tragedy of our time. You ran out of capes? Worse than that, I fear. An order of once great knights has fallen into disrepute. Blood and stars, what happened? There are some fancy capes, indeed. Howdy, Abcody. It's the Order of the Gossamer Shield. Oh, them. They were once the greatest of the knightly orders to serve the counts. Their virtues were extolled by bards across the land, tales that would make a troll weep. But they've been brought low. They're working as glorified bounty hunters for the coast. This is a stain on the honor of the East. Lord Patrician Tiberiosity. Nonsense. Our military has suffered some setbacks recently, so we hired Gossamer Security to keep order, for a pretty penny, I might add. Some patrician wealth has decreased, and the military is now weak. Gossamer Security has been solving the problems we want solved and kicking the buttocks we want kicked. Blood and stars, Gossamer Security, how has it come to this? These are knights, not mercenaries. They need reminding of a little thing called chivalry. They wrote bad poetry. Please, Your Highness, I beg the Council to be reasonable. Alright, recall the order and restore its courtly dignity. Decrease some wealth. I do not want that one, actually. That will decrease stability. Invest in Gossamer Security to help protect the coast. Would increase trade. I don't want that. Hire the Order to join the Palace Watch. That would increase authority. Authority is good. Ignore the situation. You know what? Let's have some fun. So, I would prefer to hire the Order to join the Palace Watch, just because there's nothing really bad there other than losing some money. B is definitely the worst. Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. We should veto that one. There we go. Alright, guys. Go for the one that you want. I mean, a stability loss would be bad too, but I'm preferring C myself. Let's get some more authority. Oh, this is all right, which of you is doing that? Pevkovic? Ah, rude. Voting is closed. 10 nobles voted for ignore the situation. The Order of the Gossamer Knights remain happy mercenaries in the south, enjoying the spoils of their labor. Slowly, the patricians rebuild their garrisons. Military is now inadequate. But the counts are not happy. Some openly complain about you, and rumors start going around about your unwillingness or inability to preserve tradition. Hey, I'm not an absolute monarch here. So Defiance is now grumbling. Ooh, inadequate. I know. Well, there's now an arms shortage in the east. Let's see what that's all about. Count Explos Hornek. Your Highness, the situation in the east is dire. Our peasant levies have suffered dreadfully in the last 2 seasons, and are now refusing to serve in any future military action. I'm worried for the safety of my fellow counts. We must bolster our dwindling forces in the east. Who knows what will happen to our people without protection? Alright, we're going to hire a mercenary company. I'd rather not have that. Conduct an extensive eastern recruitment campaign. There's only a 50% chance of that. Force farmers to join the eastern military. Farming's pretty good there. Learn the first rule of rulership. It's always the leader's fault. No, no. The east has no need of soldiers. Leave them be. Yeah, I'm thinking C is probably the best option. They could use some more military. They got plenty of farming. So let's go ahead and force farmers to join the eastern military as my preferred golden choice. You know you guys want money. Vote C for money. I mean, the B is probably okay. I imagine that there's not much bad that would come of that. But definitely getting them some more military would be good. Now I just need to decrease their defiance. Alright. Looks like people like money. Shocking, I know. Voting has closed. 14 nobles voted for. Force farmers to join the eastern military. Pressing peasants into the military service is a tradition dating back hundreds of years. It alleviates the arms shortage in the east and hopefully doesn't create another. Alright, military is now weak, up to 2. Farming is now sufficient, down to 4. They are bad on fail? Okay. Well, the coast has some new laborers. Noble Patrician Overlord Zorp. Your Serene Highness, I have a proposition for you. As we all know, you are the greatest queen who ever lived, but you've been locking a lot of people up. Which is your right, of course, only many of them are the pettiest of criminals. There are thousands locked up for illegally dumping human waste, for example. Coin flips are almost always bad on fail? Well, that's unfortunate. Most of them would make good laborers and farmhands, which we sorely need in the coast. Perhaps we can work out a deal. Accept gold in exchange for petty prisoners. That would decrease authority. Donate the prisoners for free. Decrease authority, decrease defiance, and increase farming. Keep the waste dumpers where they are. That would decrease stability. Well, I can't veto. So, honestly, C is the worst. So we're going to go with reverse voting. So vote for C, because that is the worst. I don't want to lose stability. None of them are really good. No. A is not the... A is probably the best, but it looks like we're going to get B. Might be some good things to go for B there to... No, looks like B is going to get it. Well, shucks. Guess I'm losing authority no matter what. I mean... No. Voting has closed. Alright, 2 nobles voted for donate the prisoners for free. Alright, authority is now credible. Defiance is now loyal. A most generous offer, Your August Majesty. It wasn't me. Soon a large number of the so-called criminals are sent to the coast to work the fields. The patricians are grateful for your gift, and the coastal crops thrive thanks to all the extra fertilization. Man, I kind of wish that I'd taken the farm route now for my my ambition. All right, and the season. Monarch's Iron Choice. We could get +1 authority. Monarch's vote. No. Stop the count. No. I think we're happy with what we got. Alright. And the year. The Wandering Bard, the finest mead, and a trade opportunity. Well, let's go say hi to the Wandering Bard. Howdy, Typoleon. How's it going? Your Majesty, a traveling bard. She says she has come to compose a song for you. Not just any bard, Your Highness. The best in all the land. Sally Six Fingers, they call me. Why, because you've lost 4? No. A song, you say, about me? Why, of course. In fact, I have the tune and a verse all but ready. I have saved my best work for you, my queen. I like her hat. She has a great hat. The models have no fingers. That's true. All I require is a subject. What should I tell the masses of you? What would you like to inspire? I'm guessing that teach them to fear me increases authority and teach them to love me increases stability. So I'm going to go for teach them to love me. Howdy, Bahamut. How's it going? I will do so, Your Highness. Absolutely. Give me but a few weeks and everyone within the Crownlands will know of your benevolence. I am benevolent. Aw, bear isn't an option, I know. It would be nice if they had some context ones. Pray, I need but only a small payment of 500 gold for the time. A discounted rate for one as esteemed as yourself. Pay you? Don't be silly, I'm the queen. Very well, take your money. That would be a 50% coin flip. Quadruple would be 75, and 1,000 would be 70. I don't think 5% is worth 1,000, so... But I'm willing to go 1,000. I'm willing to go 1,000. Oh, thank you, Your Majesty. She hurries out of the throne room to do your bidding. The song has the desired effect, with everyone praising your good nature. Hey, alright, it succeeded. Howdy, Kinshir, how's it going? We got a little bit more stability. The bundle that was supposed to show up last month and got lost showed up today? Nice. Quadruple is kind of psycho, but 1k is not a bad trade. Yeah, like, 1,000 for 5 extra % is terrible. I mean, I guess if you have, like, 1 stability, it might be worth that as, like, I really, really, really need this, but even then, I don't know. Alright, a trade opportunity. Chief Napoleon. Your Majesty, the North is riddled with forgotten ruins. I recently hired explorers from the Adventurers Guild to delve under my lands. They've retrieved a number of artifacts, cursed swords, enchanted jewels, that sort of thing. My fellow chiefs already have plenty of that stuff, but perhaps I could hold an auction for the counts and patricians. Yeah. Could see. Could go for that. Absolutely not. These sound like pagan relics. They should be confiscated and melted down in the Inquisition's holy furnaces. What's the harm? The 7 hells, that's the harm! Let's see if the council agrees. Alright. Chief Napoleon's auction can go ahead. So... that would increase trade in the chiefs. The auction is not permitted, but Chief Napoleon can keep the artifacts. Allow the High Inquisitor to confiscate the relics. Yeah, I really like A. Really like A. Monarch's golden choice. Let's let that go ahead. Alright, you know you guys like money. Go for A. For delicious, delicious money. I wonder where this money comes from. Ah, 12-3. I approve. I approve. I like how no one's voting for C. What are the factions? We got the North, we got the Chiefs of the North, the Counts of the East, and the Patricians of the Coast. 13 nobles voted for. Chief Napoleon's auction can go ahead. Counts and patricians from across the kingdom travel north to bid on powerful artifacts and shiny baubles at cut-rate prices. Chief Napoleon makes a fortune. Alright, Defiance has gone down. Faith can't go lower. Ow. Oh no. Yeah, that's bad. I was expecting the Chiefs' trade to go up, not the Counts and the Patricians. Trade is now wealthy in the east. Trade is now prosperous in the coast. That's not good. And Chief Napoleon's wealth has gone from 1,500 to 2,250. Okay. Well, I think that is the point. I think it's intentionally that way. Because if you always knew exactly what the effects would be, it would make it a lot easier to manipulate them. Well, we have the finest mead here. Maybe I'll have an opportunity to decrease trade. But that wouldn't be good either. Well, I think I've done messed up a little bit. Your Majesty, the seasons have not been kind to us on the east. We face poor harvests and miserable farmers. I beg of you, send aid. Count Kinshir here. Well, what do your people need? I suppose I could send some grain to support your peasants. What do your people need? What people? No, I am to be wed, your highness, and when that day comes, I will drink only the finest mead. But with farms in the current state, we lack the honey. I need more bees. Force the farmers of the east to don their fancy wicker suits, and we shall all drink our fill of honey wine. Well, you know, the chiefs had a great mead not too long ago. Offer honey subsidies for eastern farmers. Farming would go up, treasury would go down, defiance goes down. Pass a law that mandates beekeeping in the east. Farming goes up, authority goes up, and defiance goes down. And do nothing. This is ridiculous. I would prefer B, but I'm going to veto a C. So A or B, everyone. I'd rather have B. Authority up is great for the Chiefs? Oh, well. I mean, it's pretty good for me normally. The RNG was closer to your appearance than you'd expected? Oh well, we're finding things out. Alright, well, B it is. Voting has closed. Pass a law that mandates beekeeping in the east. The peasants resent such an overbearing law, complaining that they can't magic up bees from thin air. But when Count Kinshir threatens them with a spell in his dungeon, they change their tune. Authority is now commanding. Desperate farmers abandon their meager fields in search of wild hives to care for. Soon, the east is abuzz. And farming is now fertile. Thank you, your majesty. My wedding is sure to be a success. Defiance is now aloof. Well, let's go ahead and end the season. That should literally result in famine. It's fine. March of the Giants. Back in the north, Chief Ziwa Zarase is hosting yet another feast at her clan hall. Oh, I wasn't invited to this other winter feast? Rude. Mead is being passed around in good measure, and some chiefs are dancing on the tables. That can only mean two things. Really good news or really bad news. Bonari, pass me the drink, you old lout. I'm drinking until my ancestors feel it.
Were those ice giants I saw on my way through your lands? Have we really done it?
Your eyes don't deceive you, lad. They'll be marching with us come the morrow.
The gods are good, but what happens after the ice giants march?
Acts of my ancestors, I hadn't thought about that. Someone fetch me another drink, then assemble the other chiefs. Quickly, damn you!
Alright, let the ice giants fight alone and swoop in to the kingdom's rescue, lower authority, or march with the giants and devastate the kingdom, lower stability. Alright, do you want a lower authority or lower stability, A or a B? Get your votes in, chiefs. Man, you don't wanna pretend to be the heroes, huh? Rude. Voting has closed.
There won't be much left of the palace after this, but we'll build a new one bigger and fancier with more bones.
More bones!
Ale sloshes all over the floor as Chief Ziwa Zarase teeters on the edge of a bench.
Either way, we'll sort it out when we're done pillaging. For now, let's party!
We do need to make sure the kingdom is sufficiently unstable, don't forget. They'll unite and repel us, ice giants or no.
For the final stage of their scheme, the chiefs must lower stability to 3 or less. Alright, everyone. Get our stability up. The end game. At least one region has entered the final stage of their scheme. If they pass it, they'll win the game. There are some exceptions. If 2 or more regions pass a final scheme stage, the winner will be decided at random. Oh no. If stability, authority, or treasury hits 0 and a final scheme stage passes at the same time, the scheme takes priority. If a rebellion ends with a rebellion win and a final scheme stage passes at the same time, the scheme takes priority. Good luck. The monarch can only win in ambition events, which will appear after you've acquired an heir. Oh no. Alright, well, let's end the season. Will be a throne built of skulls? No, I said bones. Ooh, comet sighting. But first, we have to go to our heir. Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council, holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, I ask that my crown be passed down to... The council hall is filled with nervous silence. Comet sight. -1 stability. I know, that's what I'm worried about. My cousin and adopted son. My cousin and adopted daughter. My cousin and adopted child. My cousin and adopted daughter. Yes, more stability. Stability is now civil. The assembled nobles break out into a polite applause. By designating an heir, you've cemented the stability of the realm. Chief Spider 40K.
Your Highness, may I be the first to congratulate you on adopting an heir? What is her name?
Vladena II. No, it should have been Elmandretta II, but okay. Your heir, fresh heir. You chose an heir to your throne.
The gods are good, Your Majesty. I'm sure little Vladena II will grow up to be a chip off the old block.
Congratulations on finding an heir. Now you just need to fulfill your ambition to win the game. Expect a visit from the Spy Master soon. Why would a usurper name it after their predecessor? Because I'm in control. Alright, a vanity project. I like vanity projects. The chief architect bustles into your office carrying an armful of parchment.
Statues can be torn down, paintings can be burned. Don't you think it's time you left a lasting mark on this kingdom? I propose we carve Your Majesty's visage into the side of a mountain. It will take dozens of artisans, thousands of hours, but will ensure you're always remembered.
That does sound pleasing. Absolutely ridiculous. Call yourself an architect. Just make sure you get my good side. That does sound pleasing. Wait a second. This queen is just the old queen possessing the new queen. Got him! Howdy, Warzy. How's it going?
I'm so glad you think so, Your Majesty. It'll be the talk of the kingdom and beyond.
You call a vote to discuss this outrageous plan. A mountainside carved in your likeness will surely get people talking, but it'll take time and a lot of gold. So, treasury too low. Yes, and add Queen Consort Clementine to this design, so we can't do that. Go ahead with the project. It will be a wonder of the world. It's a lot of money. This is an idea best left forgotten. Yes, and the nobles will fund it. You know what? Let's go for reverse voting. What don't you want? So the nobles will fund it is definitely going to be the one that is not chosen. I think that this is an idea best left forgotten myself. Alright, looks like that is where we're going. Minus 2k treasury is very bad. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Alright, this is an idea best left forgotten. When the results of the vote are announced, the chief architect sighs in disappointment.
Oh well, I suppose I'll have to focus my work elsewhere.
He decides to train up enterprising architects and builders across the kingdom, sharing his knowledge. Many of the nobles make use of this new expertise to renovate their estates. So a trade is up everywhere. Very nice. I approve. Alright, and we have a comet sighting in the north. Chief Pinky Ava, a blood-red comet was spotted in the night over the north, Your Highness. The villagers are claiming it is a terrible omen. The common folk are on the verge of panic. Is there anything I can do? Tell the church to dispel such baseless superstitions. 0% chance. I'll tell them there's nothing to worry about. 55% chance from authority, or no, it's just peasants being peasants. Lose stability. Well, I don't want to lose stability. I will probably lose stability if this fails, but I got slightly more than a coin flip. You deliver a speech reassuring the peasants of the north that the comet isn't a good or bad thing. Just a thing. Probably the ninth god riding a chariot or whatever. And we succeeded. Nice. Better odds than 0%, that's true. Fortunately, the common folk take you at your word. After all, if the queen says something, you'd better listen. The peasants go back to work in the fields, ignoring the comet entirely. Yay! No stability loss! Alright, let's go ahead and end the season. The counts are gathered in the empty council hall late at night. A new report from one of their spies has just come in. Lord Smappy, Drakov's bones. The chiefs have forged an alliance with the ice giants. They're going to lay waste to the kingdom and seize the throne by force. That would be bad. Is it too late to stop them? To my knowledge, the alliance has already been struck. We just have to delay them long enough for Queen Vladena to solidify her power. It shouldn't be long now. Our queen is on the verge of greatness. I can feel it. The counts must continue to aid the queen by countering the other region's schemes. They will win the game if the queen completes her ambition. The counts are just jealous because you didn't think of it first. Alright, so we can start an auction. We've got a monument to increase authority. We've got a prison to decrease stability, which we do not want. We've got a cathedral to increase faith, and a deer park, which will decrease farming. A fortress to increase military, and a grand bazaar that will increase trade. So a monument and a grand bazaar, A and F, I think, are the best things. Definitely F is the best thing. So go ahead, get your funds in, and get the grand bazaar, and most definitely don't let them have the prison. You gotta make sure that the chiefs do not get their prison. No funding prisons. Get that prison out of here. End the prison industrial complex. That's true, it does, but I also want to help trade overall, so... It is better to help the Patricians than let the Ice Giants burn the kingdom. Alright, time's up. Alright, the Monument and the Grand Bazaar. Very nice. Excellent. We did not lose our stability. That's the important thing. My ambition, bees! And a plot uncovered. Well, let's go with my ambition. In your CK2 game, you worked so hard to split Francia and Germania empires, and Francia just took over Germania. At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be the architect of a new golden age. You've succeeded on that front. The kingdom has never been more prosperous. Well done, your majesty. Defiance is now loyal in the north, Defiance can't go lower in the coast, and Defiance is now cordial in the east. But to shut down your nobles scheming for good, we need to build on that reputation. Your advisors have some ideas. Have you heard of the Scepter of Sages? It's an ancient lost artifact forged by Queen Alma the Wise. There's a legend that any queen who recovers it will rule over a golden age. I like the sound of that. Money's for spending. Glub, glub. My advice, on the other hand, would be to infiltrate each region with loyal spies, defeat their schemes with schemes of our own. But the Chancellor has other ideas. So create a kingdom-wide spy network, stability and trade. Recover the Scepter of Sages, faith and trade. Faith seems bad. I think stability and trade is probably the best one. Let's go for that. Kingdom-wide spy network. A wise decision, Your Majesty. I'll begin recruiting spies. We'll send them across the kingdom in the guise of traveling bards. But this will require a fine touch. Your priority is to raise the kingdom's stability and overall trade as much as you can. And, of course, there can't be open rebellion among the nobles. Faith is always a nightmare if chiefs are in the game. Yeah. Alright, and a plot uncovered. I've held him off as long as I can, Your Majesty, but Chief Boneri insists on an audience. Apparently it concerns the end of the world, though privately I think he's gone off the deep end.
We've not much time, Your Majesty. Let me present to you my grand theory, what I call the general model.
Remove this confused person. I could just straight up increase authority, but we don't really need authority increased, so let's hear it. You were not originally in agreement with the Ragnarok thing.
First off, your predictably tyrannical rule and inexplicable decision-making. A manufactured spectacle meant to distract and confuse, but I saw through it immediately. While everyone focuses on that, frog people from the coast scheme to take the throne and usurp the queen. Straightforward from here. The frog people, led by Patrician Aspen, manipulate the kingdom's trade, farming, military, and even faith to achieve their nefarious goals.
Frog people, huh? He knows. We're fish people, not frog people. Glub, glub. Oh no, Keiko's kingdom is secretly invading.
If they succeed, Aspen will take the throne, plunging the kingdom into a reign of amphibian terror, mandatory pawn spawning, and fly eating. Do you like eating bugs, Your Majesty?
Well, not after Elmandretta got murdered by one. Let's see, currently we still have more chiefs than either counts or patricians. Kind of surprised it has not balanced that out. Remember, you can type !join followed by your pronoun, he, she, or they, to join one of the nobles and get your votes in.
And skeptics may claim, well, but what about how you saw the truth behind the Ninth's Comet? To that I say, you fell for it, you fools! That's exactly what they want you to think. The real evidence is clear. The only question is, what will you do about it?
Alright, do absolutely nothing. Stability would go down. Investigate fully. Authority will go down. Arrest this fool. We are not going to do absolutely nothing. Get out of here. Alright, I suggest arrest this fool. Get Boneri into prison. He has obviously been taking too much of the psychedelics. Get your votes in so that we can increase our authority. This is a serious matter. Alright. Looks like we're arresting Boneri. 9 nobles voted for arrest this fool.
Aha! Ho, 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 ho. Of course you persecute me. This fits right into my model. The rot goes all the way to the top.
Before he can continue, the Palace Watcher yank him away with enthusiasm. Surprisingly, the rest of the chiefs barely react to the arrest, instead looking quite relieved. Authority is now iron-fisted, and Chief Boneri has been imprisoned. Boneri II has joined the council. Of course, if there are frog people, you will preemptively say, I told you so. Bees! The East has taken to beekeeping like bees to a flower. Crops are bountiful, and fields are blooming. There have been festivals with much dancing and merriment. Well, fantastic. No, the church is worried. The farm folk are besieged by nightmares, all involving bees. It has made them superstitious, and they are losing faith in the... Your Majesty, wait. The East's farms have improved beyond measure, and there is widespread happiness like never before. But for some reason, the church wishes to burn our hives. I have to let them burn something. Wait, what? We're going for wait, what? Wasn't this another game scheme? No, we don't have anything for farming right now.
It must be done. Our churches lie empty on holy days. The peasants of the East now worship only the harvest. They pray to their hives instead of the ninth.
I don't see a problem here. Your Grace, please. The peasants have full bellies and joyful smiles. That is what the church would burn, Your Grace. You have to let them burn something, yeah. I mean, bees are people, but, you know, at the same time, there's also the choice of, let them have their bee cult.
Liar, my priests report that your peasants complain of night horrors and insomnia. Something evil is happening in the East.
Spare the bees. More bees. Fund more bees. Burn the hives. Monarch's golden choice. More bees. Look, I'm not saying that the bees are bribing me, but, you know, the bees are totally bribing me. All the bees. All the bees. Bees! Bee for bees! Honey is tasty, indeed. Honey is tasty. Everyone's like, yeah, bees. Bees. Definitely bees. I'm all for bees. All right. Guess we're funding more bees. Voting has closed. Oh, shoot. I clicked on that too fast. Sorry. The church is horrified. The farmers are overjoyed. They invest in more hives and throw festivals to celebrate. Not festivals in your name, nor in the name of the ninth god, but at least they're happy. Faith is now heathen. Farming is now rampant. Seems fine to me. All right, let's go ahead and end the season. Sitting on a bench outside a sun-beached villa, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Yeah, this was gonna happen. This was gonna happen, but I mean, you know, the next ruler should try to be a saint. It's no way the sense. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Noble Patrician Chemifox, let me show you something.
These documents represent the accumulated debts of all the other regions in the kingdom.
How did you manage that? I thought they'd know better than to accept loans from us.
Oh, they did, but there are plenty of independent moneylenders they've taken loans from over the years. Banks in Kirth, Atesh, and Tavalin. I bought up all those debts for myself.
Genius! So now the chiefs and counts owe us half their wealth, and the queen owes us absolutely everything.
Indeed. All that's left is to decide what we do when it's time to collect.
Alright. Graciously forgive all debts in exchange for the throne. Raise stability. Squeeze every last drop of gold from the kingdom. Goal, raise own military. Well, you guys obviously want to raise your military. Oh, man. Oh, no. I know. Oh, damned if I do, damned if I don't.
The peaceful solution. I like it. For this to work, the kingdom must be stable. If the rule of law collapses, nobody will care about paying their debts anyway. Agreed. What do you think, my soon-to-be monarch?
It's not the way I'd choose to ascend the throne, but it's a damn sight better than sitting around my villa twiddling my thumbs. For the final stage of their scheme, patricians must raise stability to at least 8. Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, no. Alright, I can't... Okay, there we go. So, 8, 3. Alright, everyone. We want stability to stay exactly where it is. We have to keep stability right where it is. Alright, Well, you know what? You know what? If that's the way it's gonna be, I'm getting money from you guys. I'm getting money from you guys. I could also... That's a lot of money, though. Nah, I'll leave you at common tax. We can handle the defiance. Nah, I mean, I'm gonna be nice to the counts. I don't need to tax the counts. Like that's fine. It's only 300. But taxing the chiefs and the patricians, yeah. Oh yeah. You try so hard to save money to help me avoid the ice giants, though. Do you though? Do you? Let's confirm that tax. All right, defiance of the north and the coast is up to 1. All right, ambition, a spy network, a new baby, and a beached whale. Well, let's get to the ambition spy network first. All goes according to plan, Your Majesty. Let me show you. Your spy master takes you through a secret passage in your own private office. You emerge into a hidden chamber where a number of hooded figures are waiting. These are my agents. They can blend into a crowd as effortlessly as they can slip a knife between a traitor's ribs. Why didn't I know about this chamber? Don't worry about it. The palace is riddled with secret passages and hidden rooms. I'll keep track of them for you. It's never gone bad to have your spy master know all these things. Right, Mayor Macbeth? Patricians should have done military. They definitely should have. They definitely should have. Soon our spies will infiltrate the courts of all nobles on your council, disguised as traveling bards. One of the spies tosses aside her cloak, revealing a lute and the colorful costume of a troubadour. With charm and flattery, they'll worm their way into your nobles' hearts and minds. You need to trust the spy master, otherwise you're already dead. Oh man, that was so good. Mayor Macbeth. Definitely the best spy master ever. Then we'll have a spy network, the likes of which the world has never seen. I hope to make even the Gaunt of Tavalin look like rank amateurs. Can they give us a song? This should put a stop to their foolish schemes. They will learn to fear me. This should put a stop to their foolish schemes. And it will keep the kingdom stable for the rest of your reign. A little blackmail is a small price to pay. Patricians definitely do not want to directly oppose someone. It's super true, yeah. A week passes before you hear more news. Your spy master arrives in your office with a tiny scroll, small as a cherry stem, clutched between two fingertips. This is a message from one of our agents in the field, Your Majesty. I sent her to Lord Patrician Tiberiosity's villa, disguised as a troubadour, with a fiddle at the ready. Ooh, wonderful news. Don't get too excited. This is only the first step. Let's see what she has to say. Wait to hear the success of your fledgling spy. 70%. Alright. Spy Master, yeah, succeeded. Alright. The Spy Master studies the scroll for a moment, and a smile creeps across her face. She holds it over a candle flame, and it vanishes in a puff of cinders. She's been welcomed into Lord Patrician Tiberiosity's court with open arms, and is already flattering him with fawning songs. You like fawning songs, right, Tiberiosity? Let's hope our other spies are just as successful. Over the next few weeks, you receive back word from more and more of your agents. Almost all of them have successfully wormed their way into your nobles' courts. Now, we must hope they can maintain their cover. Wait and see. 60%. It's better than a coin flip. Do you like being flattered by cuties? A few more weeks pass. You wait anxiously for another message. When it arrives, however, your spy master reads it with a face like thunder. Oh no, it's failed! Do you want the good news or the bad news? There was a problem with your plan, I take it. Just give me the bad news and get it over with. The bad news is that we have had to dredge one of our spies' bodies out of a canal yesterday. Well, it's only one. But the good news is that Lord Patrician Tiberiosity couldn't work out who sent her. So that's something, at least. How could this happen? The problem is that the kingdom is too unstable. Everyone's on edge. Everyone's paranoid. If a bard shows up on their doorstep, they ask difficult questions. Of course, they're right to be paranoid, but it's no good for us. We need your nobles to be fat and happy. Over the next month, more and more of your spies are ferreted out and killed in increasingly gruesome ways. Luckily, your involvement remains a mere rumor. You never do that. You're too busy flirting. To improve your chances of victory, focus on increasing the kingdom's stability as much as possible in the next 2 seasons. The challenge will decrease in difficulty with each failed attempt. Wait, decrease or increase? It said decrease, but I feel like it would increase, but oh well. I mean, I guess we are still working towards getting it, but... let's see. A beached whale or a new baby? Let's go with the new baby. No, let's end it with a new baby, because a new baby seems like a fun thing. Beached whale. Lord Patrician Scooney. Your Serene Highness, a great big whale washed up on the coast, right outside my villa. Well, don't blow it up, alright? That goes badly. However, before I could order my servants to harvest this blubber, a finfolk crawled up onto the sand. It begged me for an audience with the Queen. Finfolk? What's that? Tell me you didn't grant that request. I've always wanted to meet one of the denizens of the sea. I have always wanted to meet one of the denizens of the sea. Your hopes are fulfilled when a frog-faced, green-skinned man waddles in, his flippers slapping against the marble. You too, Glub Glub, huh? That's a problem, Auld. My goal and the Patrician's goal is now the same. Increased stability. Yeah, I know. I don't like that. It's very unfortunate.
Your Majesty, this whale's name was Visco. She was wise and gentle and a great friend of the Finfolk. We request her return so we can send her soul into the great abyss with honor.
So you Finfolk live under the sea? In what way was this whale your friend? Why should I listen to you? So you Finfolk live under the sea?
Yes, in kelp villages on the ocean floor. Some of us raid ships, but my village has never paid much attention to the world above. Until now. Please, return her to us so we can give her a proper burial.
depths below. You can't be seriously considering this, Your Esteemed Highness. The beast is dead. Lord Patrician Scooney can harvest the dead whale. Return the dead whale to the Finfolk, and that whale will make a fine trophy in the Queen's throne room. I think returning the dead whale to the Finfolk is the best. I am going to veto the harvest one. Although I do want more trade, but it's fine. Return the dead whale to the Finfolk is my preferred one. No, not frog-faced. No, it didn't say that. Definitely didn't say that. But we should definitely respect the Finfolk and return their friend. I'm pleased to see people voting B. Kinshir. Ah. How terrible. Farsight. Terrible. Wanted it as a trophy in my throne room? Terrible. Voting is closed. 12 nobles voted for return the dead whale to the Finfolk.
By sea and storm, I can't believe this. The animal was already dead.
Alright, defiance has gone up.
Thank you, Your Majesty. The Finfolk owe you a great debt.
I'll be calling on that one day. Using a huge crane and a team of oxen, the rotting whale is lifted and placed upon wooden rollers. Without ceremony, it is plopped back into the ocean. From that point on, coastal fishermen report that their catches have never been better. The grateful Finfolk literally herd fish towards their nets. Farming is now fruitful. Well, I mean, to be fair, Anna, they could be supporting the Queen. I mean, like, they're not in that case. Kinshir isn't, but anyone could vote to support the Queen. All right, a new baby. Lord Noble Patrician Overlord Zorp. Greetings, Your August Majesty. Some fine news from my laborers on the coast. A baby has been born on your birthday, bearing a birthmark in the shape of the number 9, a fantastic omen. Perhaps we should mark the occasion. The Queen will send her blessings. Queen has no time for peasant brats. Gift the parents a bounty of jewels and fine wine. Send the Inquisition to make sure the birthmark is real. Well, you know what? Monarch's golden choice. The Queen will send her blessings. Start the vote. They could be a turncoat, you know? Pretending to be a patrician, but actually being a chief. You know, you guys want money. Money speaks. Money talks. Let's not have any increases or decreases in stability, please. Excellent. Voting is closed. The Queen will send her blessings. My humblest thanks, Your August Majesty. That's too kind. There is, another matter. They asked permission to name the baby after you. What do you think, Your Esteemed Highness? The more Vladenas, the better. As long as the baby's not ugly. No, I'm the only Vladena around here. We already named our heir that, so the more Vladenas, the better. Excellent. I'll have my housekeeper give them the good news. Noble Patrician Overlord Zorp hurries away. A child of the coast named for you. Who knows what sort of person this baby will become? You can only hope you're around to see it. Alright, let's go ahead and end the season. Alright, call for unity, +1 stability if more than 50% of nobles vote for any one option. Anonymous voting, how nobles choose to vote is hidden from the monarch's view. After voting, nobles can change their minds. I'm pretty happy with what we got. Tiberiosity has redeemed Feed the Dragon. Nom, 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 nom. Thank you very much.
Delicious bribe. The coming harvest, the good word, and undercutting. Well, let's go to undercutting first. Lord Patrician Tiberiosity, I wanted to speak to you today about a delicate matter, your most august majesty. It concerns the tallow trade. Yes, I'm very familiar with it. You might have to explain a bit further. Is this really all that important? I'm very familiar with it. Then you will understand our position. You see, the chiefs have quite a lot of livestock, you know. They've built up quite an impressive industry in that tundra of theirs. That tundra all the way down in the south. You were worried you were going to bring up the flirting with the housemaids? That's just normal noble activities. And you know the counts, always buying candles for this or that or the other. Fancy chandeliers, creepy ritual circles, you name it. It's a match made by the ninth god. Traditionally, we patricians have facilitated this trade, making sure that a fair deal was reached on both sides. Yet now the counts buy from the chiefs directly. They're cutting us out of the deal. You can't let them get away with it. Sounds like clever business to me. You're right, that's despicable. Sounds like clever business to me. Your Serene Highness, please, just call a council vote, will you? What if I just pay you to forget about this? Minus 1,500. Decrease, some, defiance. That's not bad. Actually, I don't think I will. Trade would go up and down. What if I just pay you to forget about this? That would offset our losses. You dig out some funds from the treasury so that the patricians don't feel so hard done by. Better this than taking it to a vote and potentially angering the other regions. Alright, so lost a lot of money, but defiance is down, and some patricians' wealth has increased. Now, the patricians are really low there. Wow. That's, the patricians are poor. You think there should have been a vote? That's fine. That's fine. Tried to make some financial sacrifices lately. In a few weeks' time, the patricians have forgotten about the tallow trade, while other regions are happy to continue unhindered. Money truly does make the world go round. Trade is now wealthy, and trade is now dominant. Needed to keep that prison from getting built. That's true. Alright, the good word. They got the trade, not you. That's true. But I'm pretty happy with the counts having the highest trade and the highest farming. Now counts, if you could get your military up, that would also be good. Always a pleasure, Vladena. I've had an idea. As you know, the people of the coast are quite pious. You're the only ones who are. As a member of the royal household and an avid adherent to the church myself, I thought I might go back to my homeland for a time and take the opportunity to preach in your favor. You mean make me some kind of saint? Why do this for me? I mean, I'm okay being a saint, too. Not exactly. I mean, unless they really start to like you. But support from the church can't be a bad thing, can it? Go forth and teach them to love me. That sounds bad. That sounds dangerous. It's less than a coin flip. Worse than a coin flip. You shouldn't rock the boat. If you wish, my love. Clementine utters a sigh of frustration before stalking off. I mean, we barely even talk to each other anymore. That's true. That's true. And I mean, if we look at the noble list, also doing pretty well on the money. The poorest count is richer than the poorest patrician or chief, and the most wealthy count is more wealthy than the richest chief or patrician. Yeah. All right, the coming harvest. Your Majesty, I must speak to you at once. The beekeepers in the East have become emboldened. They see the kingdom's support as an endorsement of their beliefs. Beliefs? The High Inquisitor betrays no hint of emotion. Oh. They've become obsessed with bees, Your Majesty. They formed their own traditions and ceremonies with honey, hooded robes, and dancing. It must be stopped. Why exactly? No, I'm not going to forbid dancing. These farmers speak of death, Your Majesty, in the coming harvest. They speak of golden tongues and blood running like honey. This is nothing more than a cult, yet the counts are more than tolerating it. This isn't a cult, it's merely quaint rural traditions, and they are making some divine honey. Oh, the chiefs probably like that, too. Demand the cultists obey their hives and resume attending church. 0%. This is no business of the council. Stability and authority go down. Faith goes down. Farming goes up. Send in the military. Burn the hives. Oh my god. Why can't I say no? I don't like any of these. No, I don't like any of these either. I mean, like, it's no business of the council is my preferred option. I don't know what, I suspect that the Faith one, A, is really bad, but... Yeah, A seems like it would probably go really poorly. I don't want to burn the hives. Like, I'm all for it being no business of the council, but the authority and stability losses, eh. Well, yeah, but the problem is that we don't know what the negative effects of failing this check is going to be. Like, I suspect it'll be worse. Monarch's golden choice. No business of the council. I'm going to go for that. Howdy, Bubba. How's it going? Yeah, I don't mind some defiance, but I also don't want to burn the hives. Just kind of like from a role-playing perspective. Farming going up is nice. I think it's just no business of the council. I mean, like, it's still... We'll get down to 5 stability, which gives us some more cushion for going up. The Chiefs wanted at 3 or less, so we're still 2 away from that. And right now, we're 2 away from this one, from 8, so... Alright, voting has closed. I do love the bees. I do love the bees. Maybe a secret bee cultist. Not your business. This is an attack on the Church of the Ninth. Yeah, but I worship the bees. She storms from the council hall, fists clenched. A few days later, you hear that her inquisitors are traveling up and down the realm, accusing you and the council of heresy. Stability is now stable, and authority is now imperious. Meanwhile, the beekeeping cult in the east flourishes. Churches stand empty, holy books are burned, peasants kneel before the hives, praying for honey. Delicious honey. And so the apocalypse was heralded by bees, and lo, the golden tongues danced with merriment. This is fine. This means that if we get something that increases stability, we can just get right back up to where we were. Alright, let's go ahead and end the season. Alright, I have my chosen successor. These are the upstarts. Alright, Ambition Spy Network, A Delicate Matter, and Jailbreak. Well, let's go do the Jailbreak first. That's always fun. So many people are going to die to the bees. That's fine. Your Greatness, do you remember Chief Boneri? That's you, isn't it? Oh, the fellow I threw in my dungeon.
That's right, my uncle. You threw him in prison for peddling conspiracy theories. Well, you know. They were. Well, he escaped. He cunningly concealed his escape tunnel behind a 6-foot-wide oil painting of cavorting nymphs. I mean, I can understand that. I can understand that. That seems like a reasonable thing that would happen. He cut out. Dracov's bones. Why was this villain allowed such a painting in his cell at all? Well, he was a chief.
Villain or no, Bonary was a chief and was accommodated accordingly at the chief's request.
Let me hunt down this outlaw, your grace. I'll show these soft-hearted chiefs how a count keeps his prisoners. Alright, so, 20% chance for that to succeed. That seems not great. I don't want authority to go down. I think we should, put out a bounty. Make prisons less comfortable for nobles. Hunt them down, hell yeah. You know, I mean, none of these really have anything that bad. So, yeah, just have at it. Have at it. Go ahead. We could put out a bounty. We could send Count Expose Hornek to hunt him down. Wouldn't work. Don't know what the downside of that would be, but, you know, the bounty is probably the easiest thing. Trade going up is fine as well. Farming can't go up further in the counts. I don't know where else it would go up. Defiance is fine where it is right now, so... Oh, we got 4 and 4. Let's see if we get a tiebreaker. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. We got it. There were some attempts for tiebreakers, and then it tied up again. Whoop. Oh, shoot. I hate that. There's a timer on one of those, and I let it go too long sometimes. How much of a bounty do you want to put on Chief Bonary, Your Majesty? Remember, you only have to pay out if someone brings you his head. Not gonna go for 1,000 gold. 10 gold. I think we should go for 10 gold. What's the worst that could happen? Really? Is that all? Well, let's see if anyone can be bothered. To your disappointment, no one comes forward to collect the bounty. How much do you want to capture the conspiracy theorist? You know what? If there's a crazy former noble running around, who cares? Who cares? Somewhere out there, Chief Bonary remains at large, and the Queen's justice looks weaker than ever. Oh. Authority goes down. Well, that's disappointing. Well, we'll work on that. A delicate matter. As usual, Clementine has spent the day praying and listening to sermons in St. Bertrand's Cathedral, as far from you as possible. But after you've eaten your separate dinners, she strolls in wearing an obviously fake smile. I've endured this so-called marriage as long as I could bear, but I simply can't do it anymore. Your esteemed highness, it's time we part ways. I want a divorce. What? Why? But I care about you. Thank the ninth. Now we can stop pretending. What? Why? You really don't know? This comes as a complete surprise? Every time we talk, it ends the same way, with you stamping down everything I wish for. Well, maybe that's because we only talk once. We've, talked once since we got married. You didn't even trust me to help your own reputation through preaching, when you knew it was important to me. I didn't actually know it was important to you. This was never going to work. It's over now, for good or ill. I called for the Archbishop to witness the divorce ceremony. I feel like that could decrease stability.
Yes, well, good evening, Your Majesty. I know this is awkward, but I'll ensure it all goes as smoothly as possible.
Does the Archbishop ever make things less awkward? Oh no, not you. Archbishop, surely you can't support this.
Your Majesty, I care about the kingdom. and Queen Consort Clementine was very convincing that the kingdom is better without her being married to you.
All right, let's get this done, Your Esteemed Highness. We can't divorce. I love you. We can't divorce. What will the nobles say? You can't divorce me. I'm divorcing you. All right, I have no choice. No, we can't divorce. What will the nobles say? You had your chance, Vladena. What more is there to say? Is there anything that would change your mind? For a second, Clementine looks thoughtful. I mean, my darling Clementine. I want real respect. People gossip about me all the time and make my life a misery. I want that stamped out. Alright, we can make that happen. Lose authority and stability. Can't do that. Divorce it is. Divorce be with you. Your marriage ended in divorce. Well, that's going to be a stability loss no matter what, it seems. And an authority loss. That's it. Thank the ninth. I can't believe it came to this. I should have taken the quiet option and seen if there was something about there. That's it. Queen Consort Clementine.
Queen Consort Clementine. Sorry, Clementine wanted this done efficiently.
Soon Clementine is ready to leave. Oh, you're not taking that. That's mine. You're not allowed. No. I'm the queen. This is my castle. It's a pity it ended up this way, but it's probably better in the long run, isn't it? Then she's gone, leaving you in the palace with no one but little Vladena II, your honor guard, your huge household of servants, the palace watch, and your inner circle of advisors. Practically alone. Practically alone. Word quickly gets out. The kingdom is shaken by the news. In the capital and beyond, everyone's gossiping about what happened. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Wasn't expecting 2 drops. Depths below, Your Serene Highness. You rejected my dear Clementine. My own blood. This is an outrage. No, she rejected me. Actually, she divorced me. That's not the point. It is the point. I and my fellow patricians worked hard to put a dowry together for poor Clementine, tailor her outfit, prepare the feast. Now that the marriage is dissolved, I petition the queen to refund the cost of the wedding. Hand over the capital's best farm animals as an alternative gift. Refund the cost of the wedding. The queen will hand nothing over. I am vetoing the wedding, the refund the cost of the wedding. And start the vote. I think the queen should hand nothing over. She divorced me. If you vote B, the game just ends. Yeah, that was one of the reasons I vetoed it. So yeah, A might have... I mean, we got a 70% chance for A, so that's pretty good. Alright. The voting has closed. Hand over the capital's best farm animals as an alternative gift. And it succeeded. The lush fields surrounding the capital are bountiful, and the Chancellor soon arranges for the rarest breeds of cattle and sheep to be transported to the coast. Although Ice Sovereign's pride is still hurt, the others accept the gift gratefully. Farming is now abundant, defiance is now aloof. Alright, well there's that at least. Meanwhile, Ice Sovereign is forced to put up Clementine in their estate, which turns out to be a great expense. Noble Patrician Ice Sovereign's wealth has decreased from 950 to 200. Go against the Queen, will you? Alright, Ambition Spy Network. This is not going to go well. I got a 50% chance, a coin flip. Once again, my spies have embedded themselves in your nobles' courts. Hopefully they'll meet with more success this time around. A few more weeks pass. You wait anxiously for news of your spies' progress. One day, Your spy master appears at your desk, her face lit by a triumphant smirk. Whew. Oh boy. Stability challenge succeeded. Good news, Your Majesty. Our spies have uncovered some of your noble's darkest secrets. Did you know Lord Patrician's Shield of Hope has an irrational fear of lemons? You do now. Oh, Lord Patrician's Shield of Hope. Would you like to have some of this delicious lemon cake? It's tasty. We even have a few illicit romances between the nobles and our generically attractive bards. The blackmail writes itself. My genius knows no bounds. You're stuck here. This has gone better than I expected. You do enjoy the services of an excellent spy master, second only to Mayor Macbeth. But we can't get complacent. We must see if our other spies are equally successful. Over the next few weeks, your spies send back more and more positive reports. Soon you've established a spy network throughout the entire kingdom. It's with a sense of smugness that you call your next council session. As the nobles file in, you realize you know all their secrets, their weaknesses, everything. Chief Napoleon.
Listen, Your Greatness, I was thinking that taxes have been awfully high lately. Why don't we hold a vote on reducing them?
No.
I must have misheard you. I just called a vote. Let's go, chop chop.
Chief, can you come up here a moment? I need a word in private with my little bird here.
Chief Napoleon walks up to your throne, his face quizzical. Your spy master leans over and whispers something in his ear, and he looks suddenly horrified.
By the gods, how did you know that? Only my mother knows about that. Look, just because I still wet my bed,
Sit down, Chief. If the Queen doesn't want to vote today, there will be no vote.
Chief Napoleon returns to his seat, trembling like a leaf.
Well, this is an outrage. The vote must go ahead.
Hey, care for some lemonade?
All right, Zero Zarase, thank you very much. Have a good dinner.
Leave me alone. I'll do whatever you say.
I could get used to this.
When you leave the council hall, the nobles are quiet. They know a new era has begun. An era of cooperation. Or else. Your spy master meets you outside, unable to keep the sly smile off her face.
We did it. This is where my reign really begins. Everyone who ever crossed me will pay. We should start teaching little Vladena II how to follow in my footsteps. After this, I think she'll be wearing a crown one day.
That night you sleep an untroubled sleep for the first time since you first sat on the throne. No matter their grievances, the nobles will never again dare to defy you. You simply need to mention offhandedly that you know what they did last winter, or that you know where they sleep at night. The monarch is victorious. Empire of Whispers. You won the game by establishing an impenetrable spy network. The counts celebrate their victory, and Vladena was venerated as a true hero of the East. But some whispered that the counts were losing control of their puppet, as the queen consolidated her power around her heir. One word, her heir, Princess Vladena II. The patricians failed to turn the kingdom's debts against it, and the moment had passed. Ever practical, they set about collecting interest and hoarding wealth, waiting for the time to scheme once more. The chief's agreement with the ice giants fell apart, and the giants ended up attacking the north instead. The subsequent war kept the chiefs too busy to worry about matters of the throne. See, chiefs, every time that you go with the ice giants, it goes poorly. Queen Vladena ruled from the shadows, getting her way in the council with blackmail and threats. The nobles were terrified, but the peasants considered it a golden age. After 15 years of unquestioned rule, Queen Vladena died peacefully in her bed, and the nobles let out a collective sigh of relief. Endgame Ledger. Game length, 3 years, 3 months. Spouse, none. Successor, Queen Vladena II. Queen Vladena the Mastermind. And the Monarch 1. And that was a success. Alright, but we're not done yet. We will have another run with Queen Vladena II, but I need to take a short break. So for those watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back. For those watching on YouTube, we will be back with the next episode. Just like the immortality line is the funniest counts one. Yeah, I'd love to see some of those other ones too. So we will definitely try that. But I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I will be right back.